Morning, honorable members and staff on the platform.
Morning, Honorable Pala. Can I see you so that at least your video e bone gore e bjang?
Good morning, Honorable Pala
I'm
and
still-
good morning, members.
Morning, I'm still the same Pala, you know, so you don't have to see me, honorable.
No, there are so many people.
Ke go ba go le bona sa ba ne re checka gore di video tsa rona di right le bo biti.
Yeah. Can you see me? Oh, is it not open?
No.
No, we can't see you. Now we can see you. Yeah. Yeah.
There you
Sharp,
are.
yeah. Sharp. To fela ya. Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So are you happy? Can you see you still speaking to the same Pala? I've not made any.
Bon background e ka ba bona Honorable Noe o na le background go ntle.
Yeah, but this background thing, why is out? I don't know why it's out. It was done.
We check ke tshwentse be le teng.
Yeah, it's there, but what do I do, by the way?
Go na le mo o tshwentseng o ye teng mo ne? O klika mo.
More.
Mo wa e bona e nang di
Okay, more, yeah.
Then in a more in backgrounds and effects.
Background and effects.
What
I see. Okay, I see. Okay, wait, I see a record, transcript, caption, documents, notes. There's no.
Yeah, before notes, tshwantse be le background and effects.
No, Chair, o tshwantse a ye o video. A click that icon yana mo video.
Mo video mo on. Gona no hana background.
For background, a click mo kapela video mo that vinyana eo.
Mobile video. Okay.
Yeah, click mo ke yone tla o fa background, blur background and what?
Oh, background. Okay, there you are.
Yeah, it's adjust and effects. Or blur my background. It tla offer those that are there.
Okay. Blur my background. Then when I click there, it doesn't give me anything.
No, it's adjust. It's adjust.
Adjust and effects.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay,
there you are.
Yeah, click ya parliament.
Okay. Okay.
Le berekisa tse tshwanang, le berekisa di gadgets tse tshwanang.
Yeah, highly honorable Inkos.
Nna ke nagana ke e ya ka bandi ya ka o ya somewhere teng. Ha o ifo.
Okay.
Ora le boga Honorable Pitso. Honorable members, it's 9:54. I hope everybody has renamed their gadgets properly.
Audio. Itimelage.
Good morning. Good morning, Itimeleji.
Oh, good morning.
How are you, sir?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm okay. How could we help you on the site while you're still waiting for 10 o'clock?
Yeah.
Can you switch on your video so that we can check if you are in order? And
my
if you
vid,
have
let me see. Okay. Can you see me?
I can't see you on my site. Members,
Yeah, there's something wrong here.
Okay.
I normally use Teams, not this one.
Oh, you normally use Teams, not Zoom.
Yeah. Now a video I can. Yeah, I'm here, but you can't. Yeah, I've got a challenge now. If you can't hear me,
We can hear you, but we can't
you can't
see
see me.
you.
What am I going to do now? Because the sign is here. Let me just see. Just hold on. Background, choose video. No. Yo, I don't know what to do now.
Okay, tell me, on your gadget, do you have your pic then? Because you've got two choices. You can use your picture, or you can then switch on the video so that we can see you.
Let me see. I've got the audio, I've got video, but I can see you. But I can see myself. It's Dr. Naila. It's not me. It's not me. It's someone else. Even. You know what I'm going to do. Let me ask my colleague. Maybe he can show me because he knows this thing. We'll come back to you.
It's already 10 o'clock. We are about to start the meeting. It's fine.
Okay.
We'll deal with your issue. You'll just, if you are going to be leading the delegation, you would indicate those heckles that you are having so that we don't delay the meeting.
Oh, okay.
Okay, no problem. Good morning, members and colleagues from JUASA and AMSA, and as well from the ICRPOB. Today's agenda is as follows. It's opening and welcome and introduction. Then we'll have apologies, adoption of the agenda, and as well on items, we have briefing by the Independent Commission for the Remuneration of Public Office Bearers on the Consolidated Remuneration Review Report for 2024 and the recommendation in the report. And then we'll have item number 2, of which is committee discussions. So what will happen would we have these particular briefings after the committee discussion with ICRPOB, we'll then release them and get to the next item, of which we'll get the briefing by the content advisor, and then have the committee discussions and have previous minutes that we need to adopt during our engagement with SAPS. So members, I put before the meeting this particular agenda. One would want to welcome everybody who has joined us on the platform. And I want to indicate in terms of the process today that guests in attendance must observe protocol and identify their devices with name and surname before admission. Guests on the platform may observe proceedings but may not interrupt proceeding or speak. Microphones must be muted, or offenders will be removed from the meeting as we normally do. And then should there be any concerns, the Magistrate Association may have the contacts of the committee in writing and details such concern for the committee's attention to the secretary. And we are dealing with different spheres of government. And while we are keeping the legislated body, the ICRPOB and the Department of Justice to account on labor matters must also be considered in line with the judiciary hierarchy, which is not present today. So on other issues that needs the minister and Deputy Minister, they would be dealt with the sessions that we'll be calling based on the request that we had from Honorable Billy that we have effected in our program. So with that being said, members, before I do my normal opening and welcome and introduction, I would like Gashwell to give us apologies so that we can go to the item of adoption of the agenda. Over to you, Gesh, for apologies before you.
Good morning, Chairperson, and members and guests on the platform. Chairperson, we've received an apology from Minister Kubai from the Department of Ministry of Justice. She has cabinet responsibilities today. And then we received an apology from Deputy Minister Nel. He's presenting at the SAHRC 30-year anniversary. We have scheduled another meeting with the ministry at a later date.
Thank you, Gashwan. Members, these are the apologies before us. Can we move for the adoption of the agenda and apologies as presented?
Chairperson.
Honorable, is it Honorable Billy? Over
Yes,
to you, Honorable Billy.
Chair.
Thank you.
Sorry, Chair, I just want to comment briefly on the apologies. I'm not sure if you want me to put my video on.
Yes, please, then you can switch it off if you have a problem. Okay, you look proper. You can switch it off if you want to. You are muted, Billy.
Can you hear me, Chair?
We can hear you now. You are muted.
No, Chair, I rise to note the apologies which have been submitted. But I also do want to register my disappointment that both the Minister of Justice and the Deputy have chosen not to attend today's meeting. In my view, this meeting was specifically convened to address the dire conditions faced by the magistrates across the country. And in my view, Chairperson, this is not just an administrative issue, but rather a very sad slap in the face of the very magistrates who have been crying out for fairness, safety and respect throughout our country, and specifically where I come from in KwaZulu-Natal, where there was a picket in expressing their frustration. And we have, if we don't have both the political heads of this department, I think then that is quite unfortunate. But Chairperson, obviously they've chosen to prioritize other engagements over this parliament or over this briefing. And I see that as quite disturbing message of great disregard and a lack of empathy for these frontline workers in our justice system. And I think, Chairperson, as members of this committee, we've got a great responsibility and duty to insist that the minister appears before us at the earliest possible opportunity to account, because Parliament cannot be treated as an afterthought, and neither can the magistrates who hold up the pillars of justice in this country be treated as such. So, Chairperson, understanding the commitments that have been expressed and the apologies that have been registered, I think it's also important that I also register my disappointment and hope that we'll be able to find time as soon as possible to have the ministers to come and address this issue. Thank you.
Noted, Honorable Pili, and your concern has been noted. As I said, I want to note hence for the adoption of the agenda and apologies. I don't know if you would want to as well say something with regards to the adoption of this agenda with the comments that you have made that would take responsibility on that in terms of informing them that the committee doesn't feel well about their absence in this particular meeting. And as well, I'm noting that on the chart, there's a request by the Department of Home Affairs to rejoin the meeting at 12 o'clock when they get to their briefing. And I want to say to Mr. Mandla Madumisa, would release you for now so that we can join at 12 o'clock. But the dilemma that we'll be seated with in this session is the fact that if the first briefing gets to be finished before before the time that we are anticipating, then we would be idling. So I'm not sure if you will be leaving some of your members on the platform or what, as you recuse yourself. Okay, there's apologies from Gershwin that we would want to note, members. Over to you, Gersh.
Thank you, Chairperson. My apologies. The Deputy Minister in Luza for the DHA section of the Immigration Amendment Bill, he has tendered an apology for today's meeting, Chair. Just want to record that. Thank you.
Okay, it's noted. What about the Minister of Home Affairs apology? Have you received the apology or not?
Chairperson, no, we haven't. But the minister is not required for today's meeting, Chairperson. We are dealing with the legal aspects of the bill. The minister will be invited for deliberations. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Gersh. Members, as I said, can we have the mover?
Yeah, my hand is up.
Okay. Honorable Nonkonyane, over to you.
Recording in progress.
Good morning to you, Chair, and good morning to all honorable members and the
You
staff.
put your hands down.
I just want to indicate that I would love to be excused at 11:30. Just to indicate that. And rejoin immediately after my case, which will take about 30 minutes, if necessary. Thanks.
Okay, your apology is noted. It will be necessary for you to join when you are available. Members, this is the agenda and apologies presented to us. I'm still waiting for the mover and seconder of the agenda and the apologies presented before we can continue.
Chair, I so move, Nonkonyane.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Nonkonyane. Any member who is seconding Honorable Nonkonyane?
Chairperson, I stand to second.
Chair, I stand to second the adoption of the agenda with supporting what Honorable Billy indicated here. This must be registered with regard to the absence of our executive in this meeting. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, honorable members. The agenda and the adoption of apologies have been adopted and seconded. As I said earlier on to the Home Affairs delegation, can I just get indication what will happen if we happen to finish before 12 about your presentation? If we happen to finish the item that are before us before 12, what should we do? Should we check with you if you can come in for presentation or what? Home Affairs?
Chair.
Yes.
It's Advocate Malakate from the Department of Home Affairs.
Yes, sir.
Chair, as I understand, today is the briefing by the content advisor on relating to the publication of the bill for public consultation. So there is not necessarily a presentation from ourselves, but we are required to hear what the content advisor is advising the committee on the process that needs to be followed. Thank you, Chair.
Yes. Okay. So there was no need of that chart. You are actually confusing us. It's fine, but please indicate as well when you leave the platform via the chat so that we are able to take note of who's here from the side of Home Affairs who's still with us. So members, the committee noted with concern the protest action by magistrate in Devon recently regarding the remuneration and working conditions. Honorable Billy, who represents KZN province, raised this matter with the committee and requested that we host a meeting. It is with this in mind and our previous resolution as a committee that we called this meeting and had invited the Minister of Justice and Constitutional Development, who was unable to join us as I indicated on the apology. However, we hope that we reschedule the meeting with the Minister to address magistrate concerns. On the 24th July 2024, the Commission briefed the Select Committee on the progress update on the major review of the judiciary salary, benefits and allowances. At this meeting, the committee had resolved to host a follow-up meeting with the Commission on the major review report. We note that the review report was published by the Commission in the Government Gazette number 51405 of the 16th of October 2024. The committee further invited representatives from the Judicial Officers Association of South Africa, JUASA, and the Association of Regional Magistrates of Southern Africa, AMSA, to observe today's meeting and to submit any comments or concerns they may have in writing, as I said earlier on. We welcome these representatives to the meeting. This briefing is important to understand the findings of the report and the way forward in addressing the concerns of the magistrate, and we look forward to the presentation. And I want to say to the delegate of ICRPOB,
Chair, we can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
Sorry, Chair. Yes.
So I've been speaking alone. Thank you, Honorable.
In the last 2 minutes.
In the last 2 minutes.
Yes.
You know the problem with our gadget, but I was saying, members, we want to acknowledge the presence of JUASA and AMSA in our meeting today, and we hope that they would take note of issues that they would need clarity on and submit through the Secretariat. I've noted as well that we did have a briefing on the 24th July 2024, where the Commission briefed the Select Committee on the progress update on the major review of the judiciary salary, benefits and allowances. At this meeting, the committee had resolved to host a follow-up meeting with the Commission on the major review report. We note that the review report was published by the Commission in the Government Gazette number 51405 on October 16, 2024. The committee further invited representatives, as I said, and indicated that they are present. And I hope that they have noted that on issues of their concern, they would write to the Secretary for us to make follow-up with regards to them. But more emphasis, members, is that through this meeting today, it's based on the submission by Honorable Billy for the committee to give this matter the attention it deserves. Because I know one of the members as well, Honorable Nonkonyan, he's been having a challenge that this matter, we need to deal with it with speed. And we hope that today's meeting will just give us clarity on what needs to happen, and so that we take note of the way forward or progress to date. So I would want to hand over to the Deputy Chair of ICRPOB to present their delegation. On my side, as I was lending, I was saying that I want to introduce the members of the Select Committee who are present on the platform as we normally do, because we know that we are on record and some of the people, they don't know our members. Today, Honorable Mananiso from Gauteng as the chair of the select committee. With myself, I'm with Honorable Nonkonyane. Honorable Nonkonyane is from the Eastern Cape representing the ANC, and Honorable Nonkonyane is the whip of the committee. And we have before us Honorable Nicholas Gotzel from the Western Cape representing the DA. And we have Honorable Mampuru from the EFF from Gauteng. We have with us Honorable Billy from KZN, who is the whip of KZN representing the DA. And we have Honorable Midupi from Northwest representing the ANC. And we have Honorable Phala from Limpopo representing the ANC. And we have Honorable Noe from Free State representing the ANC. These are the members, and as well Honorable Zulu from MKP. And we have Honorable Mukai from the Northern Cape representing the DA. So these are the members from our side as
Chair.
Yes.
Yeah, Honorable Zulu is from Mpumalanga province.
Yes.
Thank you.
What did I say?
No, I'm just saying Honorable Zulu is from Mpumalanga province. You forgot to mention that. Thanks, Chair.
So thank you. And Honorable Zulu is from Mpumalanga, as he said. Yeah, these are the members from our side of the NCOP who have joined the meeting. Hence, I said that when I hand over to the leader of delegation of ICRPOP, they need to make note and as well inform us who are present from their side. I want to acknowledge as well the guest of the committee, Magistrate N. Karakan, and as well Amsa McEcox. You are well welcomed in this particular meeting. Thank you. Over to you, Deputy Chair, ICRPOP.
Honorable Chair, good morning. Can you hear me? Because I was struggling to join.
Mr. Phineas, I can hear you, but I know that you have a challenge with your video on. Do you still have
Yes,
that?
I've got a big challenge. It's the first time I'm using Zoom. I
Okay.
installed it last night, but I'm struggling to show my face, Chair.
Okay, no, thank you. You are being permitted to continue with the presentation without your video on. However, please note that members got this presentation prior to this meeting, and it will be in order if you speak through the presentation and emphasize on issues that you think that it should be take home for members' indulgence and as well for their work of oversight and accountability. Over to you, sir.
No, thank you, Chair. Just before I start, I wish to extend apology for the chair of the commission, Judge Carlson. She is not able to make the meeting today. Secretariat, Peter Makaban, Mr. Peter Makaban is here with us. I've got Dr. Charles Naila is here with us. We are supposed to be joined by Miss Mantuka Maisela. She may join us. I think she's on. She was in an earlier commitment. These are the commission members who are present today. And without taking your time, Chair, maybe let me proceed with the presentation then. As I said, I'm the deputy chairperson of the commission. We can proceed. Who's operating the presentation, Chair? Because it's not from our side.
It's Gershwin, our administrator, the secretary will assist you.
Yeah, just move to the next slide. these are the contents of the table, and the chair, as we have indicated, the presentation was sent earlier. I will emphasize areas of importance. These are the issues that are contained in the presentation. Can we go to the next slide? Well, the purpose is to brief yourselves as we've been requested to do so on the Consolidated Remuneration Review Report. As you rightly point out, it was concluded in October 2024. Can we go to the next slide? Chair, here I don't want to take much time. We just want to indicate that we have gone through the report, and we just want to indicate that this report follows the earlier reviews which were conducted in 2007 and 2008. This was a supplementary, and 2011 was a supplementary on the medical aid benefits. This is what we did. This report was a follow-through on those ones which were concluded and fortunately implemented. The next slide. Just a brief historical background on the process that was followed. On the 24th of July 2024, we did brief the Select Committee, as you rightly point out, on the major review with regard to the judiciary on their salaries, benefits, and allowances. And subsequent to that, earlier to that, we had submitted to the President a report only with regard to the executive and legislative, local government and traditional and Khoisan leadership, and independent constitutional institutions. This report was not a full report because it was only focusing on the completed 3 component of the public office bearers. It was only on the 9th of October where the report on the judiciary sector, which was the remaining component, was presented, and the review report, as we rightly point out, was then published by the Commission on the 16th of October 2024. Next slide. Well, Chair, I'm not going to emphasize this. Just to say, we as a Commission adopted our guiding principles was underpinned by the cooperative governance principles. But basically, what we looked at the review of the 3 arms of state, which is executive, legislature, and judiciary. And these positions, these 3 arms of state, each is an anchor. The head position is an anchor to that sector. So in executive, we've got the deputy president, who is the anchor position. So everybody follows under the deputy president. Legislature, we've got the chairperson of the National Council of Provinces and the Speaker of Parliament. These are the anchor positions, and judiciary, the anchor position is Chief Justice, chair. What we have done in terms of determining the salary levels, Chair, is we used a relativity principle where we try to address the internal vertical equity so that we close the salary gaps between the various levels. Anchor position is at 100% and relativity in our determination in order to close that gap that I'm talking about was that each level will have a differentiator of 5%. From one higher level to the lower level, it will be a difference of 5%, so that that big gap is closed between these levels. That's how we have approached this review, Chair. Because the reason why we did so, I think I need to emphasize this, is that in our consultation process, magistrates brought a serious concern that there is a huge salary gap between them and the salaries of the judges. So in order for us to try to close that gap, we then looked at the relativity and differentiated each subsequent levels by 5%. And in our view, we believe that that area of concern has been addressed, because before this review, the salary difference between the lowest paid judge position and the highest paid magistrate position was...
Hold on, Deputy Chair.
Okay.
Magistrate Tarikan from Juasa, please note that we indicated that there's a process at hand that you would need to exhaust in terms of submitting through the secretary of the committee. Because as you are commenting on the chat, it's very disturbing for the meeting. So we are noting your chats. Please do as advised. Thank you. You can continue, Deputy Chair.
No, thank you, Chair. As I was still saying, was that we tried to close that gap through this review. As I indicated, is that before the recommendation of this review, the salary difference between the lowest paid judge position and the highest paid magistrate position was at 19%. With the recommendation, the difference is 8%. The difference between the lowest paid judge position and the highest magistrate position is at 8%. We can go to the next slide. Well, in terms of our guidance, what guides us to determine the salary levels, we are guided by Section 86. That's what gives effect to the factors that we consider when we look at the salary, either salary adjustment or salary increases. And this is what we consider, Chair: the role, status, duties, functions, and responsibilities of public office bearers, the affordability of different levels, because affordability refers to the budget, Chair. Current principal level remuneration, particularly of organs of state, inflation. You know, inflation also is very critical because it's the one that eats the purchasing power of our money, available resources to the state. I think when the minister goes to Parliament and present this budget, you will present what the challenges are. And we also look at any other factor which in our opinion will be relevant to the assessment of salaries of public office bearers. The next slide. In terms of the methodology, Chair, let me just indicate that the first thing that we did was to look at the job profiles, what functions to each level of a public office bearer is doing. We did this through engaging the public officers, office bearers themselves, because it is very important for us to, together with them, understand what functions do they perform, so that when we do the evaluation, we know what factors to take into account. But in terms of the grading of these positions, we do it ourselves as a commission. We don't involve the public office bearers from that process. And once we have finished our grading process, we then went back to inform them on the outcome as part of our consultation. So up to a stage where we indicated what each position grading level is, we also shared with them what the recommended salary levels are. So the public office bearers are aware of what grade each position is and what salary level is attached to those positions. Next one. Well, I'm not going to say this because this is just the job profiling, the role profiling of this. These are the factors. These are all the factors that we looked at together with the public office bearers. So we didn't just go and decided that this is the profile of the jobs of the respective office bearers, but we looked at it together, but based on the factors listed here. Overall purpose, structure in this case of the judiciary, the institution position being evaluated, education requirement, skills, attributes, and core values. So all this we considered with the assistance by the public office bearers. Next slide. Well, in terms of the magistracy, these are the positions that they were evaluated. Regional court, were profiled. Regional court president, regional magistrate, chief magistrate, senior magistrate, and magistrate. These are the categories of the positions that we evaluated with the assistance by the incumbent in the various jobs. Chair, maybe I just want to indicate that maybe one of the challenges is during the consultation, we didn't consult individual magistrates or individual judges or individual political office bearers. These groups of public office bearers have got representatives, and in the case of judiciary, magistrates were represented by the lower court remuneration committee, which is a committee of magistrates, and judges were represented by judges remuneration committees, which is a committee representing a chief justice. So when we went to consult, we consulted the members of these committees. For judges, it was members of the Judges Remuneration Committee, and for magistrate, it was lower court remuneration committee members. So those in our expectation is that once they finish the process of consultation, they go and give feedback to the various membership. So that's how we understand the process. I know the fact that there are other members of judiciary, as you have just mentioned here, that there are I think 2 bodies here. So yes, they are interested parties, they are stakeholders. We do agree, but our line of consultation is those with those 2 bodies. Next one, slide. In terms of, as I've already indicated, after profiling, we then did a grading. The grading we did on our own. We didn't involve any public office bearers. All what at the stage at which we involved them was when we were finished with the grading, and we shared with them what the grade levels are, and also respective salaries attached to each of this grading. And in the labor market, there are many grading systems, Chair, but for our purpose, we chose Peterson job grading. That's the one that we used. So yeah, that's what we did. We could have used the others, but we felt that the Peterson was better placed to give us a better results. So yeah, that's where we are. Can we go to the next slide? Chair, after that process, this was just the result of now our grading using Peterson grade. Remember what I said was that in this sector, in the judicial sector, the anchor position is the Chief Justice. So we used the Chief Justice as an anchor and at 100% relativity. So the grades at the far right are the grades of Peterson, where the Chief Justice was graded at F4, and the lowest position of magistrate is graded at D2, but relative, we looked at this relative to that high level position of the Chief Justice. So those were the results, and these were communicated to both the Judges Remuneration Committee and the Lower Court Remuneration Committee members. Next slide. So after doing that, Chair, as I've indicated, we did indicate what each grade salary level is, and this is what we recommended. And this, which you see in front of us, is what we communicated to the lower court remuneration committee, with at the far end is where we are recommending what the salary levels, after the review, the salary levels of each of the magistrate position should be. So I'm not going to call out the figures, they are there, Chair. This is what we have recommended. And just here, I think I just want to indicate that when we were consulting, as I indicated, the magistrate complained bitterly. They had a serious concern on their salary levels. If you see at the far left where at the column called referred to as current salary. That's where their current salary levels are as magistrate. And at the far right, that's where the commission is recommending where the salary levels of various positions of magistracy should be, Chair. I think that is the gist as far as we are concerned, and that is where I said the gap between the highest paid magistrate position and the lowest paid judge has now been closed from 19% to 8%. Yeah, that's where we are. Can we then proceed to the next slide? Pension benefits, Chair. Before magistrates were declared public office bearers, they were members. They were members of the Government Employees Pension Fund. That's where they were contributing the pension fund. Even now, they are still. We are recommending that they stay there because this pension fund scheme is a defined benefit pension scheme, and we believe is more beneficial than the one that the other public office bearers are contributing to. That's what we are recommending. I think it will continue like this because they've been contributing for many years, and they have created a value out of this process. So that's where we are saying their pension would stay. It's not going to go to the political office bearers pension fund. Next one. Next slide. Oh, okay. The medical aid is there, Chair. Chair, just to add, the medical aid, Chair, is something that I think going forward we need to work on strongly, because here we are just saying they can join their own choice of medical aid, because they are not even if they join GEMS, it's still fun, but we are saying for now they can decide on which one to join. But Chair, the last thing that I maybe which for us is an issue is that after our presentation of this report to the president, then one component of the judiciary, who are the judges, made a presentation to the president, indicating that they are not satisfied with the recommendation of the commission. And the other stakeholder, the Minister of Finance, also make a presentation to the president, also not happy with the recommendation. And as a result, the president was not able to approve our recommendation. Instead, he referred these two complaints back to us, judges and the minister, and we have already engaged with the judiciary on their concerns. And today we are engaging with the minister. We just hope that after these two engagements, we will be able to have a way forward. We are also aware that the magistrates have already indicated their unhappiness on the delay. They are not complaining about what has been recommended, but they are complaining about the delay in implementing the recommendation of the commission. And lastly, Chair, I just want to indicate that with regard to matters referred to of magistrates with the protest in Durban, as the member has indicated, the other condition, the commission is only confined to recommending salaries and benefits of public office bearers, not the conditions. We don't set the conditions of employment. That is the employer's responsibility. Chair, I think I just wanted to clear that differentiation. Yeah. Yeah, thanks.
Are you done?
Thanks very much. I'm done. Thanks very much. I'm done.
Thank you, Deputy Chair. And I'm still noting, Magistrate Karikan, that you're still on the chat, and we have requested that note the presentation and make submission through the secretary. Because really, indeed, you are now doing the opposite of what one has announced about the process and procedure for today's meeting. Members, I would like to note your hands with regards to the presentation before us. And I only have two questions that I would ask after all the submissions by members with regards to the presentation. From my side, I would like to note your hands for engagement. Honorable Mukai, you are noted. I only see Honorable Mukai, members. Okay, Honorable Billy, Honorable Noe.
And my hand, Chair.
Okay, and Honorable Nonkonyani. Members, as noted, it's Honorable Mukai. Over to you, sir.
Good morning, Chair, and good morning to the members. Chair, I'm at the park and I'm struggling with this network. So I want to put the video on. With your permission, Chair. Thank you very much, Chair. Chair, mine is very simple. It's just to appreciate the presentation, particularly the issue of the remuneration of the magistrates. I think this committee has been seized with this issue since we became members of this committee. And I think we are in a step in the right direction because a lot of times when we engage with members of the judiciary, and particularly with magistrates, and we read in the news that the issue of salaries is a big concern for them. And I think we with the commission are presenting the adjusted and the recommended grades. It's a step in the right direction. I think, Chair, as this committee, we should work and align in that work, Chairperson. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you, Honorable Mukai. Honorable Billy.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. And let me join my colleague in welcoming the presentation that has been made, but also to commend the Commission for respecting Parliament and making time to come and make us understand as to what is happening. We have got a huge responsibility to oversee the work of not just the department, but the Commission as well, and ensure that everything that is being done is in line with what is expected. And again, Chairperson, I think it would have complemented the presentation had we had the ministry also part of this. I want to take note of the latter comment made at the end of the presentation, speaking directly to the request which I had made following the picket by the magistrates in Durban, complaining about the working conditions that they face, and appreciating the fact that the Commission might be limited in as far as going into the actual working conditions, which includes the safety and the administrative support, and more importantly, Chairperson, the infrastructure of our courts, which is in many instances in total disarray. But I do want to maybe get a comment from the Commission. I'm sure they are not implying that they simply cannot do anything. But I would want maybe to understand if there are any intentions or any concerns around or steps being taken by the Commission to at least recommend some form of, sustainable improvements in the working conditions. The second point, Chairperson, I wanted to just quickly check. My understanding is that this was submitted to the President, or the Commission's report was submitted to the President and completed in October 2024. And we still have got magistrates who are protesting and complaining. Just maybe for the Commission to give us an indication as to whether there has been any specific follow-up or implementation mechanisms that have been put in place to ensure that the recommendations on the magistrates, specifically salaries and benefits, are acted upon timeously by the President and by the Department of Justice, just to understand what steps they might be taking. The third point, Chairperson, that I want to touch on, the report mentions that there were stakeholder engagements and direct consultations with the judiciary. I want to understand to what extent were practicing magistrates and their respective or representative bodies directly involved in shaping the recommendations, or in other words, how were their inputs reflected in the final report which was submitted to the President? Can we find expression of their inputs into the final recommendations which were submitted to the President? I think, Chairperson, I will end it there. Again, I think I want to emphasize that this report is very important for us, but again, it would have been even more useful if the ministry was also able to complement what is being said, so that we can at one go deal with this issue, find ways that we can be able to move forward and we avoid a situation where our judiciary is facing challenges that can be resolved collectively, and also us playing our role as Parliament to provide oversight in these kind of matters. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Ngili, and we're noting your emphasis on issues of how to resolve these issues at speed. Honorable Nowe.
Thank you, Chair. I hope that my hearing capacity did not fail me. I think I'm actually taking on what Honorable Billy said in the end. And firstly, let me also join the colleagues in appreciating the presentation and the work that went through behind the work that is presented today. And good morning to everyone. Chair, I just wanted to make sure that I heard very well that the presenter indicated that there were dissatisfactions, complaints here and there by the affected officers, as we have already seen in the charts. But I wanted to check whether all those complaints or concerns were consolidated and as to whether they were responded to in order to be processed further on, as and when this presentation is finalized and processed, those things have been taken into account going forward. Just wanted to make sure that I think that's what Honorable Billy also indicated. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Nowe. You did hear the presentation well. I must just emphasize on that. Honorable Nonkwanyani, over to you.
Members and our guests, Chair and honorable members and our guests, thank you very much for the opportunity to chair. And I must also join my colleagues in appreciating the report from the Commission. Two questions for clarity, which is incidental to Honorable Billy's question. I understood then the Deputy Chair to indicate that, of course, they consult, and they did consult, but not individuals, but the entities, that the judges through their committee and lower courts through their committee. Now, I know that in the Republic, there's a freedom of association. Is there any clause that precludes them from consulting other stakeholders other than the two he mentioned? That would be my question. Then the second one is, if my memory serves me well, Chair, there was a concern from the magistrates that, yes, the issue of parity between them and the judges is one issue, but there was another issue, if my memory serves me well, they may correct me if I'm wrong, that they did complain about that the prosecutors that from the NPA side are also being remunerated somewhat better than them. And some of us who have been prosecutors and magistrate, we knew that we were junior to the magistrate that preside over the cases. But it seems now that in the new dispensation, things have somewhat changed through transformation. But I just want to find out whether they did consider this factor in actually recommending what they have recommended. And I think these are the only two questions for clarity for now, Chair. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Honorable Nonkonyani. As I indicated, from my side, Deputy Chair, I think some of the questions have been asked by Honorable Billy, but mine is to get sense, noting that you have said that today we will be meeting with the Minister with regards to this matter. I hope it's not because of we are having this meeting, but just take us in confidence on how far are we with this particular process, while noting that you'll be meeting with the Minister. But my second one as well is about the follow-up with regards to the committees that you have briefed of the judges and the magistrate. If you did make follow-up, if they have actually briefed their members about your engagement. I just want clarity if there's any process or mechanism that you do to ensure that you get feedback if they've briefed their membership. If you are permitted to do that or not, you can still clarify. But again, on the other matter, I've been covered by Honorable Nonkonyani on the issue of engaging the specific bodies than other ones as well. Can we just get clarity on that. And lastly, from my side is how many times do you meet with the association in a year, so that at least we get sense that you are actually capable on dealing with these matters as it when they arise, rather than this delay that you are raising that they are unhappy about it. Because yes, indeed, there's been just a slow pace on dealing with this issue. And I can tell you, Deputy Chair, it's taking a toll to us, because some of us, we're living in the societies where we do have the magistrate, and they would engage us to say, but we've been following you through. How far are you with this process? And it seems as if we are failing them on our side of oversight, even though we note that there's a progress from where we come from, as Honorable Mukai could have said. So just clarify on issues raised by members and as well on the matters that I have raised. Over to you. Who's disrupting the meeting? Can you mute? Okay. Over to you, Deputy Chair.
I mute. Yeah, I think I'm. No, Chair.
No, you must get a refresher course. After this meeting, just get a refresher course on how to use Zoom. Over to you.
Okay, thanks very much. I've got the secretariat here. I've got Dr. Naila. They will fill me in terms of response. But let me start with the first set. Whether the commission is able to recommend for the working conditions. I wish the minister or a delegate of the minister was here, because our act does not allow us to do anything with the working conditions. But we can say in our report, during our consultation, this particular category of public office bearers indicated the following, so that the president can take note and engage the affected parties. That's what we can do in a report, because we listen to what the stakeholders are saying, and we then convey the message of such engagement. Maybe let me link this with whether the outcome of this report does accommodate the concerns or the issues raised or the input raised by the magistrates. Yes, in some cases, remember when we consult, we listen, we engage, and where the inputs add value to our report, we do take that. We don't take all what they put to us, but we take what adds value to the report and improve the status. For example, they've been complaining about the huge salary gap between them and the judges. That was key. They also complained about the lower level, salaries they are now earning compared to the prosecutors. Maybe, and I need to club this together. Yes, we listen to them. And these recommendations we are making today, I think they take all these issues into account. The low-level salary compared to the prosecutors, and also the big salary gap between them and the judges, that has been taken into consideration. I don't know where the level of the prosecutors are now after this recommendation. I think the magistrates will now be earning higher than the prosecutors. I haven't seen them, but I'm sure they will be earning higher than the prosecutor. So we've taken those. We compared we looked at what they're saying about the prosecutors and what they are saying about their judges. So we looked at those. In terms of the president, we make a recommendation to the president. Once he accepts the report, he follows other processes for judges. He will still come and engage you and so forth, and he implements. But in this one, the challenge is after us making the recommendations, two stakeholders came back to him to say, no, this report cannot be implemented in its current form. We need to re-engage with the commission. That's why we met with the judges last week. That's why we are meeting with the minister this afternoon. And Chair, just for your comfort, the meeting is not because you called the meeting. It has been long arranged because we have been asking for a meeting with the president. It's just a coincidence that it happens on the same day. But once, from our side, once we have consulted with the two stakeholders, we are going to go back to the president to say, no, Mr. President, this is after our engagement, this is what we feel should happen. That we will do in the next 3-4 weeks to the president. But from there, the process is going to rest now with the president. Once we have resubmitted what the president has asked us to do, the process is going to rest with the president. I think I don't know how you communicate with the president. I don't know the protocol, but I think you will get an indication from that side. The concerns I've addressed. This issue of us engaging with the other associations, I know Honorable Nongoyan did raise it last time when we came to present to this committee. Yeah, this has been a challenge because the formal structure which they've appointed has been saying no, but you can't go and communicate with everybody, then you will never finish your job. These committees must talk to us so that we can convey all the message together so that everything is consolidated. Otherwise, the process is not going to finish. And that links with the chair's question in terms of whether we go and make a follow-up on whether you have now communicated with your members. That we have not done. Chair. I don't know. I think there's something that we will consider because it's important to go and ask them whether they have made this follow-up. And Chair, also linked with that is the frequency of meetings. The frequency of meetings with our stakeholders. We don't have a stipulation, but when we do a review, like what we have just completed, we meet quite often because we engage so that we can make progress. That we do quite often. But ordinarily, when we don't have a review, we consider what we call annual increases. That is what you call cost of adjustment. Cost of adjustment living. We do it once or twice a year. That is literally because we need to consult with them so that they know what we are going to recommend for their salary increases. So yeah. And then how far are we in the process? As I've indicated, we are going to go back to the president. Once we've handed the report in the next 4 weeks or so to the president, everything will be now with the president, not the commission. Yeah, yeah. That's I don't know what I've left, but that's what that's where we are. And Chair, my battery is dying here. I'm going to move to my colleague. I'm going to answer you from a cell phone, not a laptop. Fortunately, I've already presented. Have I omitted anything, Chair? I think I've answered what I've been given. It may not be satisfactory, but I've tried my best. Thank you, Chair.
No, thank you. Even though you are indicating from your side that you hope you have responded satisfactorily, in future, just deal with the quite often, because when you do oversight and accountability, we want to measure. As you were specific about when you engage on annual increases, you have given us specifics that it's once or twice a year. So deal with that gray part of quite often that in other issues that we have asked you, find ways of finding a plan with regards to ensuring that you deal with matters when they arise, rather than waiting for them to be, bigger programs that are creating instability or just perceptions from the normal public about what is happening in the judiciary. With that being said, I just want to check, Deputy Chair, as you said that you are with Dr. Maila, if Dr. Maila would want to say something or she is covered.
Yeah, Dr. Maila, yes.
Yes. So
Doc?
You can on over to the doc.
Doc? Dr. Maila? Is there anything you want to add? Doc?
Okay, no, it's fine. Let's leave it at that. Honorable Billy, I can see your hand. Is it a follow-up or a point of order?
It is a follow-up, Chairperson.
Okay, I know it's the first time that you are doing the follow-ups. I'm giving it to you. Over to you.
Yes, you understand that very well, Chairperson. But I think this is a very important undertaking that you are embarked on. We've got to clarify issues the best way that we can. And my follow-up is directed to the explanation given on the delays and the implementation of the Commission's report. What Parliament is being told now, or what this committee is being told, that the Commission's review report was completed and submitted to the President in 2024, in October. And now it is October 2025. And we are informed that there are...
Person who's, Deputy Chair, I'm not sure if it's you, but there's a person whose mic is on. Okay. Thank you. Over to you, Honorable Billy. You can continue, and sorry for disruption.
That's all right, Chair. As I was saying that the Commission's review report was submitted or completed and submitted to the President in October 2024. Now, we are being informed that there are conversations or engagement this afternoon. And I'm not sure, Chairperson, if it makes sense, as to how the delay has happened and why only now we are beginning to have these engagements. What is the reason for all of this having taken so long to finalize? If some form of clarity can be given, Chairperson. I think what the Deputy Chair is saying is that they are now having these engagements from this afternoon, and then there'll be engagements with the President, and then they will do a resubmission if you can also clarify what is the resubmission, or what are they hoping to achieve, or is it the engagements that will give effect to the new submission being given to the president? He then goes on to say that once they resubmit the report to the president, then the process would entirely now be in the president's hand. Is he also suggesting that after these engagements, then the magistrates who find themselves in these dire conditions can comfortably say that the person that is holding this is the president himself? If you can just clarify that, otherwise I don't want us to come across as if we're putting the president under the bus here. If you can just clarify what exactly has been the issue and why are these engagements are only happening now after such a long time this report was submitted. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Pili. We're noting the new thing of putting people under the bus. Deputy Chair, please indicate as well if these questions that Honorable Pili is asking is within your prerogative, and if it's for the minister, just indicate so that you don't find yourself under the bus as well. Over to you, Deputy Chair.
Yeah, Chair, I don't want to be under the bus or throw the president under the bus. Maybe let me respond to this question of why now? Can you hear me, Chair?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. No. I'm just saying, remember what we did in October. We presented a report to the president for his consideration. We have made a recommendation. We then published it because from our side, we thought the process is now done. It is now up to the president to take the process further, because our responsibility is to present a set of recommendations to him to further implement, because there are further processes from us. Going to parliament, I don't know how the process works after that with the president to yourselves. Then around April, May, because this report also went to the various public office bearers. Around May, June, that's when the president came back to say the Chief Justice is not happy with the report, but he did indicate in which areas is the Chief Justice not happy, and also to say the minister is not happy, and he indicated which area is the minister not happy. And the president also indicated that I did meet with these people. That's why I am now referring this back to you, because I think what they put on the table warrants further consultation with them. So we then started our own process to go back to say, let's now consult back on the issues you have raised. It's only these two stakeholders, not anybody, but only these two stakeholders who came back to the president. Why the process started late? I think the response also came late to us, because I don't know what processes were followed between the time we presented and between the two stakeholders raised this matter. So in terms of now the further engagement, that's what we did. We wrote to them and indicated that the president has written to us, we would like to meet with them. So that's why we were able to meet with the judges, because it depended on the availability. Now we are meeting with the minister, also depended on the availability. So that's how the process has unfolded up to now. Had there not been any complaint with the report, I think the president would have taken all the processes further. We wouldn't be sitting here today. So that's what has happened, unfortunately, Chair. Chair?
Yes, we are with you.
Yeah, I say that in this one, that's what has happened. And I'm sitting with Dr. Naila here because my gadget died.
And Honorable Chair, sorry,
Yes.
I was muted. I was muted when you asked me to speak. Sorry about that.
All right.
Yes, and greetings to honorable members. One of the other reasons why there is a delay, the term of the other commissioners came to an end. About 5 commissioners came to an end last year, and the appointment of new commissioners was also delayed. They have just been appointed. I think they started in September, and there were only 3 commissioners remaining, and we did not even constitute a quorum. That is why there is a little bit of a delay. But also to add to what the Deputy Chair is saying with regard to the current consultations that we're doing, we are also aware that all the other POBs are anxiously waiting for this report to be finalized. So this consultation, the consultation we had with the Chief Justice and the judges few days ago, and this meeting that we're going to have with the minister will help us to actually address the issues that the president raised when he met with these 2 stakeholders. And we will also be recommending things that can be implemented as soon as possible, together with the rest of the entire report. And the president's wish is that instead of implementing it incrementally, he intends to implement everything at the same time. And the last comment, Honorable Chair, Honorable Namkonyane raised the issue of, what is it that is preventing us to consult broadly and so on. Our consultations are legislated. For example, our legislation says we consult with legislature, we consult the speaker and the NCOP chair, and or the designates, and we consult the Chief Justice or the Chief Justice designates, and we consult the Minister of Finance, the Minister of COCTA, and the National House, and so on. So there are specific stakeholders that have been legislated in that manner. But however, that does not prevent us to communicate with various other concerned stakeholders as well. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you, Dr. Charles Nwaila. We wanted to see you because we didn't know if your gadget we know about the fair issue. So can we see you as members and those who are in the platform?
All right.
We don't want pajamas in our sessions, so we want to see people in order.
He needs a crash course, just like me.
I'm actually using a phone.
Okay, no, it's fine then. It's fine. We appreciate your input. I just want to say to you and the Deputy Chair, as the committee, we are noting the assurance that things will be better after today's meeting. And as well, Honorable Noe?
Sorry to interject you. At least I know the voice. I can confirm that it's him.
Okay. Okay.
Chair, I also raised a hand. I don't know whether you.
Okay, Honorable Palakawa, I'm giving you an opportunity to make a follow-up or your input before I do my concluding remarks.
Yeah, no, it's thank you, Chair. It's just a follow-up. I wanted to ask about the stakeholders, but I see Dr. Noile indicated the the key, he said specific stakeholders that are legislated. I wanted just to know those who are not legislated, how do they handle those who are not legislated? Thank you, Chair. And how many are they?
Thank you, Honorable Pala. Dr. Lwaila?
The ones that are not legislated, perhaps I would like to also bring the context to these consultations that were held during the major review. We often, as a commission, we conduct these major reviews after every 5 years. So with this specific one, there have been extensive consultations also with parliamentarians, and which started as early as 2018, I think.
18, yeah.
Yes, 2018, before our time. So there have been the whole range of consultations that have taken place, especially for this review. And with the annual adjustments, we also consult all the relevant key stakeholders that are supposed to be consulted before the final adjustment recommendations are made.
Okay, thank you. You can switch off your video because we can see that it's body on the other side.
Okay, thank
you.
Chair, my apology. I don't know whether Dr. Noile has answered my question. I wanted to know how many stakeholders who are not legislated, who they are dealing with. Yes.
Mr.
Chair,
Dr. Noile, can you respond
No,
on
no.
the issue of Honorable
Chair.
Pala? Yes.
Chair, let me ask the Secretariat to assist with this question, Mr. Peter Makapane. There are other two members who have just joined us, but it's fine. Let's ask Mr. Peter Makapane. Peter, can you assist us in terms of who are the other stakeholders who are not legislated that we deal with?
Good morning, Chair, and good morning, my commissioners and members of Parliament. My name is Peter Makapan. Let me start by conveying apologies again to the chairperson of the committee. In the meeting again, we are having Dr. Luisi and Mr. Modise as members of the commission. So with regards to the stakeholders that are not in the legislation for consultation, let me start with the executive chair.
Hello? Can we see you first before you can continue? Then you can switch off your video. Okay. If you don't have a problem of keeping your video on, you can continue.
It's me here.
Yeah.
Can you see me?
Yeah, we can see you.
Hello?
Yes, we can see you.
Hello,
you can
members.
continue. We can see you. You can continue.
Can you see me?
Yes, we can see you.
Hello?
You can see you. We can see your picture though. You can continue. Mr. Peter?
Yeah, Chair, it seems
yes.
he is struggling. Now I only know of this these two who have been getting into the consultation process. That is Juwasa and Aramsa. Those are the ones that I'm aware of. The others are the ones that are legislated. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, just indicate to Mr. Peter that he can do his submission through written response with regards to that, ne? Because we have noted that he had.
I'll do that, Chair.
All right. Okay. Thank you. But with that being said, I would like the Commission and members on the platform and our guests to note that we do acknowledge the work that has been done, noting that we need to appreciate and take pinch with the fact that, 1 year, as Honorable Billy could have alluded, it's too much for dealing with such a small issue. And we hope that all the dissatisfactions that have been raised will be addressed and responded to in your today's meeting as you'll be dealing with this issue. And we hope that in our next meeting with the Minister, we'll get the last outcome of what we want to resolve as the Select Committee. Because indeed, as Honorable Mukai and Honorable members could have alluded, this is one of the issues that we know that when we started, we dealt with, and we have assured everybody that not in our presence and in our lifetime that we'll deal with issues of parity as by the way issues, because these issues are human rights issues. I could imagine if as members we were to get a certain amount while we are supposed to be getting certain earnings, and then there's such that it's happening, it is not nice. We all know that when you work hard, you are motivated, but what you get so that you can fulfill all your interests as an individual. So with that being said, Commissioner, we hope that we are learning and we have learned in this process that there is a need of doing our work swiftly so and with agility it deserves. So with that has been said, we want to recuse you from this meeting as we are getting to another briefing session for today's meeting. Thank you.
No, thank you very much, Chair. And other honorable members.
Yes.
Viva the chair.
Yeah, Emukai, don't leave the platform. But now we are still on the meeting. Mukai.
No, I'm here, Chair. I'm here, Maria.
Hey, how will Viva the chair once supposed to carry a platform? Yeah, those who have joined us for the report from the Commission, can you release yourself or recuse yourself on the platform? Dr. Raila, o ka tlogela platform, Papa, you can leave the meeting.
How do you go?
Amsa, you are recused if you would want to leave the platform.
Okay. I'll just go. Just yeah. Yes. Is it?
Dr. Charles. Okay. Okay. All right. I see Amsa is still here. Okay, they have all right. Yeah, we have PMG, Moreshni. All right. Thank you, honorable members on the platform, and I want to acknowledge as well the PMG for joining us as always. I've actually omitted greeting you. I just want to check who's Mokate Tebogo. Mokgatle Tebogo, can you indicate on the chat which organization are you part of? Mokgatle Tebogo. Okay, thank you, sir. I just want to check. You still want to remain for this next session of this meeting? All right. No, thank you. We are then continuing with our session. Members, I want to appreciate your first maximum participation on the first briefing. And now we are dealing with the draft immigration amendment bill before the committee. We seek to amend the Immigration Act 2002 in line with the Constitutional Court judgment to revise provisions relating to arrest and detention of illegal foreigners for the purpose of deportation. And members, I know that mostly the inputs that we got, they're suggesting that we must refrain from illegal foreigners. So illegal immigrants for the purpose of deportation and to align these provisions with constitutional principles. The bill should be seen in the broader process of the review of the white paper on citizenship, immigration, and refugee protection. On the 10th of September 2025, the Select Committee received a briefing from the department on the amendment bill. The bill was then advertised for comment on electronic platforms, and members, as we know, with us, we even used our 13th language, of which it's sign language, to ensure that this bill gets to everybody. We advertised from the 3rd to the 24th of October 2025. The committee received 16 written submissions. Anthea will be taking us through in terms of from which parties did we get this particular 16 written submissions, and I know that the presentations are before you. Committee members received the detailed summary of the submissions made to the committee on the bill, and the conduct advisor will now do a presentation on the key issues raised in the submissions. After the briefing by the conduct advisor, the committee must decide on whether the written submissions require a public hearing to clarify the comments or whether the department should respond to the submissions made. Over to you, Anthea, as you take us through this particular presentation.
Good morning, Honorable Chair. Thank you very much, and morning, honorable members and colleagues. Chair, is it okay if I turn my video off?
Anthea?
Yes, Chair. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
I'm just asking if I can turn my video off, Chair.
If you have technical glitches, yes, but you didn't give us reasons, so we don't want people to think that we are setting a precedence. Do you have technical?
No, it's fine, Chair. I will keep it on. Okay, Gershwin's going to flight it for me. Members, just to say that I did send through the comprehensive summary of submissions where it's very clear which organizations submitted which comments. So today's presentation, just to facilitate the committee making a decision around whether public hearings should take place or not, is really just to highlight thematic issues that were raised in the submissions. So primarily, the document that I sent to members, that is the document that contains the substantive amendments that are proposed by the commentators, and which at a later stage the department will then respond to. Gershwin, you can move on. Thanks. So the chairperson has already indicated how the bill was advertised and that we received the 16 written submissions from 8 individuals and 8 organizations. The names of the commentators are contained in that summary document that I referred to. It's important to note that one commentator, Stembiso Lamont, is a 15-year-old school learner and one of the youngest persons to make a submission to the committee. Thank you, Gershwin. So in terms of presenting a broad overview of key and thematic issues contained in the summary document, a key issue that was raised was capacity and resources by the presenters highlighted there, and they were concerned about administrative capacity and resources and overcrowded detention centers. They recommended addressing resourcing, conducting an impact assessment, and that DHA should have its own detention centers. Another recommendation that was made was in respect of regional cooperation by Luyemo Ngozo, who indicated that neighboring countries should review and strengthen the administrative systems. For example, reducing delays in issuing passports and other identity documents, and strengthening South Africa's community-level social welfare services. You can move on. A very key issue that was raised consistently by most of the commentators was the interest of justice requirement that is in the amendment bill. And it was felt by a lot of the commentators that there's a need for clarity on what criteria will be used to determine the interest of justice. And they recommended that it can be regulated when practically applied, but a lot of them recommended that it must be clearly defined. Another key issue was the amendment also mentions reasonable conditions and relevant factors that must be taken into account. And commentators felt that no guidance has been provided on what the conditions and factors entail and that this should be clarified. The part of the amendment which speaks to the detainee being brought to court within 48 hours, those commentators, the Helen Suzman Foundation, Enoch Mbau, and the Law Society indicated that it could place strain on the justice system and courts and may not be achievable, and that we should consider introducing specialized immigration courts or designated magistrates. Another key issue that was raised, a lot of commentators had concerns around interpretation services. And many of the commentators felt that it's very important that interpretation services must be available to detainees. One commentator, Rendani, said that we should limit interpretation to South Africa's 11 official languages, use English if none are understood, and allow private interpretation at the detainee's expense. Interpretation delays must not extend the detention period. Another key issue of concern was around legal aid. And many of the organizations specifically all emphasized the importance of the right to legal aid, as well as providing additional funding to legal aid for the effective implementation of the bill. A key issue that was raised by many organizations was also children and vulnerable groups. And they emphasized the need to protect children and vulnerable groups from detention. You can move on. Another issue was the distinction between illegal immigrants and asylum seekers. It was made very clear in the submissions that there should be a distinction between the two, and we need to ensure that asylum seekers are protected and receive access to basic services. Another key issue that was raised was around training and implementation of the bill. The Law Society, Helen Suzman Foundation, and Lawyers for Human Rights were of the view that consideration should be given to appropriate training, funding, and collaboration between departments to ensure effective implementation of the bill. A lot of commentators also presented alternatives to detention and proposed various alternatives to detention, some of which are reporting to a police station or immigration officer regularly to maintain contact, open accommodation centers, including flats and bulk centers that are open and referred to as reception centers, the provision of a notice pending deportation, voluntary repatriation without the need for detention, residential alternatives such as halfway houses, and community integration. Specific comments that I just wanted to highlight was Kusatu supports the bill, but says that references in the bill should be clarified to confirm that the courts in reference are magistrates' courts. The Buffalo's Basketball Club also encouraged the adoption of community supervision programs, especially for youth and families involved in education, sports, or rehabilitation programs. And Leonard Tsitsi recommended that gender-neutral language be introduced in the amendment bill. And he made specific proposals, and in that regard, members can look at the summary of submissions document. Just concluding, there are various specific substantive amendments which are proposed to the bill, which are contained in the summary document, which the department will be required to reflect on and respond to at a later stage, after the committee has decided whether it will host public hearings or not. And the bill and some of the comments should also be read and seen in the broader context and process of the review of the white paper on citizenship, immigration, and refugee protection. Thank you, Chairperson. I think just to say that it's now for the committee to decide whether they would like the commentators to come and appear before the committee to clarify the comments that they have submitted in writing. Thank you, Chair. Thank you, members.
Thank you, Anthea. And I would like you to actually share that summary presentation to all the members. However, I know that members have went through the lengthy summary of submissions from all who have participated, and now we are clear in terms of how many have submitted and which organization, because we have noted that it's 8 individuals and 8 organizations, as you have given us this particular presentation. So now I'm noting hands for members to consider this summary report and as well take a decision on what needs to follow after this particular process, noting that there is a need as well of conducting a public hearing that we might do through visual with all the organizations that have showed interest. But it's over to you to decide on that we must do a public hearing to consolidate this particular report after you actually could have considered it for the submission of organizations that have indicated that they are available for oral submissions. And Anthea, from our side of the committee, I think we need to acknowledge the 8-year-old young man who have made a presentation that indeed we did get his submission to this particular process. I'm now noting the hands from members. Honorable Phala, Honorable Noe, Honorable Mzamu. Okay. Over to you, Honorable Phala.
Thank you, Chair, and good morning once again, honorable members. Let me first appreciate the summary by Anshia. Thank you very much. Chair, immigration in this country has become a problem. I've gone through the presentation, the submissions by these individuals. They are speaking about immigration at their face value. It's unfortunate, Chair, that you are not in our last oversight from the police, the defense, and all the key stakeholders we engage with. And our communities, Chair, are traumatized by immigration. So the submissions which are here, which have been submitted, they are dealing with things at the face value. But as members of the committee, I think we must speak from an informed position from our engagement with the defense, engagement with the SEPs, engagement with the municipality in Lady Brand and Fixback, and also I was at the oversight in Limpopo a week before. The situation is bad, and the immigration chair is dealing with the following. It's dealing with our territorial integrity. It's dealing with our constitutional order. It's dealing with the functioning of our national, provincial, and local government institution. It's dealing with the well-being and prosperity and upliftment of our citizens. It's dealing with the growth of our economy and our envision good governance. So the challenge is bigger, is much bigger than what these the individuals have indicated here. I see also COSATU did not go deep into it. My take in this chair is that as members of the committee, we need a fiscal meeting where we must get engaged and come with a way forward of dealing with an immigration chair. We need to change things. We cannot be speaking one and the same. So in my view, Chair, I'm proposing that as members of the community, we need a fiscal meeting where we must sit together and discuss about this. This is about the defense of our democracy, and we must not take it light. So that's my submission, Chair, and I'll really appreciate the work which has been done by our support staff. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Phala. I think you just need to withdraw the fact that inputs were made on a face value, because I don't think those who have participated will appreciate that comment. Perhaps there's a better way of saying these submissions are actually covering some of the parts of the white paper that we'll be dealing with later. However, I think we need to acknowledge their participation in the process, and I hope that you are saying that there should be more engagement with regards to these issues. And let's quantify it as well, that it's illegal immigration that is a problem in our country, not immigration, so that people, they must not think that we don't want them to be in South Africa, because we know that we are not an island. We relate with our neighboring countries and the world at large. So I hope that with that, it's a just in council of just dealing with issues at hand, not actually demystifying other people input from what we could have opened as a process. Honorable Noe.
Thank you, Chair, once more. Welcome to the officials from Home Affairs, and also appreciate the summary by our content advisor. And Chair, I couldn't agree more on the update of Honorable Phala as far as the torment that the illegal immigrants have actually subjected South African citizens to from different angles. And here we are again sitting here having to deal with one of their effects to the country, which definitely threatens the security of the country. We have seen more, Chair, from our previous visit with this committee in Limpopo, with the second visit with the Joint Standing Committee, and with our last oversight, as Honorable Pala has said. Chair, and also, secondly, appreciating the interest that has been shown by all the individuals and the different structures that have taken their time to read and took interest to take their time to make submissions as far as this one aspect of the Act is dealing with as far as the amendment is concerned. It clearly showed that citizens are really, really concerned about the general effect of the illegal immigrants in the country, and they will want to make contributions. There is an advice or comment by the content advisor that most of some of the submissions are dealing broadly on issues that affects the Act. And going forward, there is a white paper being processed by the department, and some of those things will be much more dealt with at that level. So looking at the proposed amendment, which is just intended to assist the Home Affairs and the justice system to deal with those who are arrested and happens to be illegal in the country, so that we are not found to be wanting while we are still getting our house in order as far as illegal immigrants is concerned. My submission will be therefore based on the summary submission and having gone through the submissions, is that one, we refer those comments to the department to respond to, and then I agree with Honorable Pala, then we will find time to engage further on this matter using these submissions that has been submitted, in the sense that we look at broadly on the going forward, the public hearing. This time, they are not necessary in my view. They will only be more necessary during the white paper, because this time it is just about one matter that we should not invest so much resources into it. We should consider investing much more time in engaging on this matter of the Immigration Act when we deal with the white paper. So we defer the public hearings, but the department then should deal with this proposed submission, and we will then receive the report from them once they have considered the submissions. I submit, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Nowe. Honorable Billy.
Thank you, Chairperson. My understanding, Chair, is that this amendment bill it emanates or comes from a misalignment in our constitution, and therefore there's a need to align it. And my understanding is that this was started a while back. In fact, it was given 5 years by the Constitutional Court for Parliament to resolve it. So there's a it's been there. It needs to be. It's an urgent bill that needs to be considered. While it does seek to find that constitutional alignment, the concerns being raised about the practical enforcements is also quite valid, which is why perhaps it would also be fit for the Department of Home Affairs to perhaps comment on some of that, especially in as far as the practicality of it, the courts being able to handle the 48-hour hearings as it is suggested in the amendment bill. But there's also issues of definitions, procedural fairness, protection of vulnerable groups, and so on. So there's that balance that is ought to be found. But again, Chairperson, we've got to be quite clear as to what is the requirement from the committee at this point in time is. I think what was said by Anthea is that we have got to make a decision whether there is a need to further consult or have the groups or the individuals that have raised that have made submissions to come forward so that we can deal with that. There's 16 groups, as far as I saw, that made submissions in this regard. Now, I think the question that is in front of us is whether we want to have those groups coming to the committee and making further submissions beyond what they have submitted, which is in front of us. And my immediate answer to that, Chairperson, is that the concerns being raised are valid, but it can also be answered by the relevant departments, so that we are able to at least be given assurance as to how will Home Affairs be able to deal with what will follow should this come into place. Will they be able to handle it? I think that is the question. But otherwise, in as far as the time frame, I would want to believe that this is already 5 years late, and the intentions behind it, especially in managing our immigration, what we've been seeing as this committee is important, and I think that the sooner we are able to process and deal with it, the better we could be able to allow the amendment to come into place. That would be my contribution for now, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Billy. Honorable Noe, I want to check if this is a legacy hand before I speak.
Yes, Chair. Yes, thank you. Sorry.
All right. Oh, no, thank you. I think, members, you have actually done what you were supposed to do in terms of the submission report being given to us. One agrees that indeed there is a need of getting oral representations to the committee by those who have indicated that they would want to do oral submissions. Because as Anthea could have said, on some of the inputs being done by commentators are issues that needs to be addressed by the white paper at large. So as the committee would have to respond to those that would want to indicate to them that we are taking note of their submissions and inform them as well about the process of the white paper. And I fully agree as well, members, with the issue of the submissions to the department so that commentators can get responses on issues that they are raising, issues of resources, issues of capacity, if we will be able to actually respond to these illegal immigrations It's something that is of importance that has been raised. Issues of human rights, as Honorable Billy could have said, about issues of vulnerable groups that have been indicated, is something that we cannot say that we would just, turn a blind eye on it. So there's a need of specific department responding on how this issue is going to be responded to, taking note as well that some of the matters will be brought when we deal with the white paper. As indicated, members, with regards to the oral submissions, we would have a meeting on the 5th where we get oral submissions to those who have indicated that they would want to make some submissions with regards to them giving us clarity. Indeed, I want to agree as well with the inputs made by members that we need to take note of these submissions because on some issues, they just need specification or clarity on some definitions that they feel that constitutionally they are not right. So perhaps through that oral submissions, we would be able to get sense on what these commentators want us to do as legislators when we process this particular bill. Because most of the issues, and one have depicted, is the fact that they don't actually reject the bill, but they are saying that in its form of 1, 2, 3, this can be done for the bill to be legally correct. And I think, members, we know that there was a process that unfolded before today where we got the legal advisor and the legal team from Parliament taking us through with the department together to check actually what is it that could have happened prior that was not right, that we are actually dealing with, so that we rectified it. So we were given details and we were taken through processes that all the requisites that were requested that the Department of Home Affairs must go through in terms of ensuring these reforms has been done legally so. So it's upon us, as agreed with you yourselves, members, that indeed let us have a process of oral submissions to get detail on these matters. And I hope that while we are preparing for those oral submissions from our side as the committee, will write letters to specific department to respond to issues raised by our commentators in terms of their submissions. So I really appreciate the council and the inputs made by yourselves, members, with regards to this issue. On the issue of deferring the public hearings, we would take your counsel, Honorable Noe, but as well seek the legal advice, because previously I'm told that the NCOP used to get some lash with regards to them not going through that process of public hearings. But I would come back to members in terms of that particular part, so that we don't find ourselves going astray with the legalities and ensure that we don't leave anyone behind. That is the summary with regards to this issue. And Anthea, we want to thank you for the work well done in terms of the submission, because you can see that members are not rejecting what you have taken us through. However, please make sure that we get that summary presentation from yourself so that we align ourselves at least with your thematic processes that you have clapped them accordingly.
Yes, Chair.
Yes, Anthea?
Yes, Chair, I'll do so. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, thank you, Anthea. Members, with that being said, we have dealt with item number 2 as supposed to, and we hope that all of us, our emails will be at speed in terms of resolving what we just need clarity on with regards to us exhausting the process of public hearing. Now we're going to our last item, of which is, I see Gershwin has a hand. Over to you, Gershwin.
Apologies, Chair. I'm just wondering if there's any legal from Parliament's legal team that they want comment they want to make, Chair.
Good afternoon, Chairperson and honourable members. I've been hearing the discussion, Chair, in respect of public hearings, and all I'd like to just say is that while the Constitution does place an obligation on the NCOP to facilitate public involvement in its legislative processes, the Constitution does not dictate how that involvement what that involvement should entail. I mean, it's completely at the discretion of the committee to determine whether written submissions are sufficient or whether the committee requires further clarity on the submissions and therefore wants to hold public hearings. So that is really up to the discretion of the committee. What the courts will always look at is to see that the committee has acted reasonably in giving members of the public an adequate say in the development of legislation. And the factors that one then needs to consider is basically the nature and importance of the legislation, the intensity of its impact on the public, practicality such as time and expenses, as well as what the legislator itself would consider to be appropriate. But I hear that the conclusion is that public hearings will be held. So I think that would be then the next step in the process. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Ms. Carson. I think with your advice, we would look at the viability of deferring public hearings after the submission of oral submissions, because members are agreeing that we must deal with that process of getting oral submissions to those who have submitted. And as well, responses will be consolidated and communicated to from the department with regards to their questions. That's where we are as this select committee. Would look at all avenues so that, as you said, that with where we are now, we can continue with oral submissions and as well the responses by the department as it is our discussion as the committee. So we'll just do that because of that's what actually was submitted by members on the platform. With that being said, I think we are all in sync in terms of what needs to happen with regards to this process on our next process, of which the oral submissions will be done on the 5th of November, on the 12th of November, sorry. We scheduled the 5th, but we were then requested by the Joint Standing Committee of Defense that they would have they have an engagement with their members. And we know that most of our members on the select committee, they form part of the Joint Standing Committee of Defense. So we have just responded to the submission because we know that their absence affects the quorum. So we won't be having the oral submissions engagement on the 5th. We'll have on the 12th of November with those that have submitted that they would want to do oral presentation. And then while we be on the process of having oral presentation, we would as well deal with department to department communique with those who have submitted with regards to their issues where they need clarity. But we want to appreciate the community at large, those who have submitted, those who have showed their interest in dealing with these issues of illegal immigration in our country. And we want to say to them, they must continue being the voice of the voiceless in terms of lobbying and advocacy and using their resources to ensure that they make inputs and to speak out on issues that they think that they can take part and make meaningful inputs to ensuring that we shape up the country, because all of us, we are responsible to ensure that we secure this country called South Africa, living in diversity as we are. With that being said, we really appreciate work done in here, and we hope that our commentators will get love letters that we really appreciate work that has been done by themselves, and inform them as well, Gershwin, that we will be dealing with department per department in terms of them getting their response. And I think if they have joined us, they must note that with our committee, it's the response would be within 14 working days or 7 days. depending on the responses by the department. But we'll make sure that we give them the responses from the department. With that being said, members, the item has been exhausted, and I appreciate the inputs made by you members. Now we're moving to the last item of the session, of which is the minutes of the briefing with subs. Members, I know you have read these minutes because we were supposed to actually adopt them in our previous meeting, and we couldn't because of our agenda was too hectic. I just want to note the hands from members with regards to this briefing with the Acting Minister for Police on his recent visit to the Western Cape on gangsterism and extortion in the Western Cape province, and the strategies aimed at addressing gangsterism and extortion in the province. This briefing should also include information pertaining to the MOU signed in August 2024 between SAPS and the Western Cape province aimed at addressing the gangsterism. Briefing by the Western Cape Police Commissioner Lieutenant General Advocate T. Patekile on the strategy to combat crime, specifically gangsterism and extortion in the Western Cape. I put before you members these minutes, and I would want to note hands of input on clarity seeking or omissions based on what you got from us as the office. I'm noting hands of members. Honorable Norway. Over to you, Honorable Norway.
Thank you once more, Chairperson. I want to note the correction first. In your opening remarks, I think you told the meeting that I'm the only yellow bone of this committee, and it's not appearing there in the minutes. And that is on a lighter note. Chair, now I will want to move for the adoption of the minutes. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Norway. You want us to TikTok now as a select committee. Don't do that to us. The minutes have been adopted by Honorable Norway. Any seconder to the minutes?
Chair.
Is it Honorable Zulu?
Yes,
Okay.
Chair. Honorable Zulu. No, Chair, yes. Thank you. Thank you very much, Chair. I do second the minutes as a true reflection. Thank you so much.
Zulu, you look proper, even though we can see that you are moving. The minutes have been duly adopted.
Chair. Chair, on a technical, non-Konyana. Just on a technical.
I need to train you on raising your hand, because sometimes I feel like you are fighting me. When you say chair, over to you.
Thank you, my apology. But this gadget of mine, it can't. I asked experts next to me. They failed as well. My apology. No, Chair, it's just technical matter. I was not part of that meeting, but I think it must be recorded that as amended, including, of course, the name of Honorable Noe. That's the only technical aspect that I wanted to clear, that we approve the minutes subject to that correction to include his name as being present at that meeting. Thank you, Chair.
You are noting the error, but you cannot have a say with regards to these minutes. Has been duly adopted and seconded by those who were present in the meeting. With that being said, honorable members, that concludes today's meeting. And I wish you well for the deliberations today in the House. We hope that our people will be tuning in to listen to what we think is best for the local government in city of Western Cape, as we have seen and we have learned to make things better for our communities and society, and mostly vulnerable marginalized and excluded. So I wish you all the best. That today, let's speak and raise their issues accordingly without fear or favor, and make sure that we respond to them. The meeting stand adjourned. I thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Enjoy.